You get an opportunity coming out in the first game, first offensive series to score the first touchdown. And I got to imagine in a lot of ways, as a team tries to fall into their rhythm for the year, that had to be a great shot in the arm, not just for you, but for your teammates.
Yeah, that was something we emphasized early on last year, and then big emphasis of ours going into this year was starting out fast and being able to score on the first drive against a divisional opponent like that. Set off the fireworks in Lambeau, smoke in the air when we're kicking that PAT. It's a great feeling.
When you take a look at where your team sits right now as opposed to where you were, last year you're beginning the season in Brazil. This year you've been through an entire of a season as a group together and into the playoffs. Now you come back into another season. What are the differences right now? Is it a maturity thing? Is it experience?
I would say maybe a little bit of both. We have guys who last year they might not have been too sure exactly what their roles were. For me personally, last year I was coming off an injury where I missed the entire offseason. So being able to have a full offseason with all the guys all healthy, going through OTAs to training camp. We're in that long ride together, just growing, getting an opportunity to do things that we haven't done before, stepping into, new concepts with the additions to our offensive staff. Not extreme changes, but really just you know, we're pushing, we're concentrating all the good things.
When you're a young player in the NFL and you know that you've got ability and you know you have the ability to potentially grow into the role that you're growing into right now, do you have to, how hard is it, I guess I should say, to make yourself available, to make yourself a viable choice, not just for the coaching staff, but for Jordan when he goes back and starts going through his progressions?
Yeah, well, really, it just comes down to that trust. All those reps that you get together in an off season. Um, knowing where he's looking first by having familiarity with your playbook and just the rhythm and timing, understanding his drop, how many steps he's taken in his drop back, if he's taken a hitch, and then ultimately, he's going to put the ball in some difficult places. As he's maneuvering the pocket, sometimes you just have to go up there and make a play.
Now, there is catching the ball, getting to that spot, getting the ball delivered and catching the ball. And then there's what comes next, and that's what gets us to Kraft, yak, and cheese. Uh, Obviously, last year you had yourself a tremendous season in terms of yards after catch. Does that come from being a high school running back, or is there something more?
Yes, I would attribute a lot of my yards after catch ability to being a running back in high school. I didn't play any tight end in high school, so I got to the NFL, I got to college, learned how to run routes, learn how to catch the ball as a route runner as well. And then that transitions into the NFL where, the coaches don't get to see your yard after catch ability in optional team activities or training camp because it's all, as soon as that first defender gets there, they blow the whistle. So it took a lot of time to finally get an opportunity where I could showcase my ability. And that came and maybe like week 10 Chargers game, my rookie year, where I all I did was catch a simple flat route. I turned up, broke a tackle. I had another opportunity on defender, and I used a stiff arm, high step hurdle, whatever you want to call it, and I showed my athletic ability there. And next week, score my first touchdown, and then it's just maximizing the opportunities you get. When you get a chance, to get the ball in your hands, what are you going to do with it?
Did that change the perception of the coaching staff knowing that you have that ability in you in terms of the types of routes they have you running in any given play?
Yeah, and it also comes into play, what coverages are we going against that week? Where can they sit me up in a zone? Where can they find me a mismatch in man coverage? Where can they, where can we put 85 to get an opportunity to drop step and get north? And that just comes with, having the mindset, as soon as I catch the ball, you know, tuck it away. And then immediately I'm looking for someone to stiff arm with my offhand. break the first tackle, make the defense run to the ball because that's just going to tire everybody out. And then when you get those yards after catch, when you're running people over, that juices the entire offense up, builds momentum.
I know it's not your side of the ball, but this is your team. When you make a move as an organization to bring in somebody like Micah Parsons right before the beginning of the season, I can't imagine that that's anything else other than a gigantic shot in the arm of enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, just the ability to, one with a move like that made by our front office, like just the excitement it brings to the team. We already have a good team. Now we're adding a weapon like that to our defense with, it was tough to say farewell to a guy like Kenny Clark, a guy who had been here. He had shown that they trusted him here in this organization. So tough farewell to Kenny, but having an opportunity to just have an elite athletic specimen and one of the best to do his jobs in the NFL here with another guy, a group of guys on our defensive line that are already so dynamic. It's just, the end goal in mind, obviously, in February, but we're just trying to take it one game at a time and beat our opponents 1 week at a time.
Tell me about Timberlake, South Dakota, because with you not there right now, my understanding is that there's 499 people there now. I mean, this is a really small place that you grew up in. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Timberlake, South Dakota. It's in Dewey County. Everybody driving around in that area has 24 plates. Um, Very few people would understand what I'm saying by that. But it's right in the heart of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. Born and raised there. The football field is named after my father, Doug Kraft Field. Um, the only football games that get played on there, there'll be 18 guys on the field at a time. No stoplights. There's two paved roads. I had a graduating class of 24. The school itself is K through 12. It's just it's a very unique experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else because it's brought me to be exactly where I am.
And not only that, I'm not trying to make a comparison in a place that's so small to Green Bay, but Green Bay's got among NFL cities that small community feel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a giant, you know, there's this giant building. I mean, it might not be as big in other cities, but it is the largest one here in Green Bay. Just plopped down in the middle of a neighborhood, and the fans can leave their front door and walk 2 blocks to the front gate and walk right in, scan their ticket, and it's just it's hard to explain. It's one of those things that it's better if it's just seen.
You mentioned the fact that right in the heart of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, you're an honorary member of that tribe?
Yes, so it would have been last off season. There was a proclamation that declared me as an honorary member of the tribe. The people there have just always been so supportive of everything I've done, from high school to college and now here in the NFL. Um, just the immense support and I I can't ever thank them enough. The things they do. They have a Tucker Kraft Day. It's very strange, outside looking in, but for me, I just can't help but feel immense pride.
I just thought of something. If you're playing 9-on-9 in high school, that's much bigger areas to look for and run to. Did that in any way kind of mold how you see the football field?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Having an opportunity to just run in space. We had a pretty good track and field team. We put some good relays together. So you get a few of those guys on a 100-yard field when it's 9-on-9, you can just run sideline to sideline the entire time. But yeah, having an opportunity to just be a running back in high school, all I see is just run lanes. So I see probabilities of windows, just like a running back would now. And then, the typical, you're just going to have to do this with your shoulder mentality. But yeah, there was a lot of reps, 30, 35 carries a game in high school, and brought me to be the ball carrier I am today.
Really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.